Good afternoon, YouTube. How you guys doing today? Kevin here, coming back at you with another video. Kind of dodging raindrops right now. It's been really crazy. I just dug out the Ts125 Suzuki, and I popped the carburetor that it came with apart, and because he told me it was brand new, and sure enough, he is. He's correct. He did run fuel through it at one point, and I see some debris inside there. See a little bit of rust in there. But nothing dramatic, nothing a little cleaner can't handle. But look at this thing, huh? Brand spanking new. Well, anyway, one of these carburetors is a knockoff, one of them is not. And we're going to find out which one is which, and whatchamacallit there. We're going to take that other carburetor apart, and, well, we're going to get right into it. Alright, so we got you guys on the stand. We're going to yank that carburetor off. I'm going to move you guys over a little bit, though. How's that? Probably shrink it down a little bit more so you guys can see what I'm doing. Some of this has already been done for us, like the air filter box has already been loosened up and everything else. So we didn't have to deal with any of that, which is okay. I prefer it to be completely connected, but listen, we got this thing in trade. You get what you get. No regrets, right? So you guys ever heard that before? Let's see here. On, off, this way, off. Alright. Fuel line is stiff. We're going to have to replace that fuel line. One bolt here. Nut. This is the Mikuni one. It says Mikuni right on it. I don't think this knockoff one says that on it. In fact, I don't even know if this is... Oh. This is just a Chinese knockoff on that carburetor. Yeah, they put the screw on that side and the auto mixture's in the same spot on this one. So, it's basically the same carburetor. Alright, well that makes things a little easier. Yeah, alright, we can deal with that. That's acceptable. I'm okay with a Chinese knockoff. Sometimes you get what you get, right? Yeah. Got one on, that off. Right. Yeah, the weather's been really bad out here, guys. Really bad today. Had a little bit of a yard sale today, and it's just been absolutely crazy. It's going to leak a little bit of fuel out, but that's alright. Nothing dramatic. Alright, just the way we like it. Nothing dramatic. So I hope everybody's well today. Hope everybody's doing good. Let's see if we can get the top nut off here. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on. A lot. See if I can get that other bolt nut off the other side. I love these old two-strokes. Nothing better than an old two-stroke, I'll tell you that. Especially a 125, these things go pretty good. Some of the guys who are, what do you call it, the subscribers have a couple of these things, and they've done some really cool stuff with them. Let's see here. These won't come off. That pull it off. Wow, thing's really stuck on there. Get a pair of pliers on that, see if we can twist that off. I'm going to do that from the other side over here. There we go. Cracked it loose. I don't even know if this Mikuni slide will fit into that other carburetor, because that's the only thing it did not come with. I seem to have found a problem already. They over-tightened up the carburetor and bent the ears. So they over-tightened the carburetor and bent these ears. This ear on the other side is slightly bent, cocked in, and what happens is it makes it really, really tight. So I'm going to see if I can find a way to get that off there without prying too much on it. Alright, pry this off and put it right in here. Gotta be careful prying on these things because you don't want to ruin the flange it mounts onto. If you over tighten up a carburetor and you bend that flange, understand that you could create a lean condition. And that could cause engine damage. That thing is really bent. Okay. Alright, I'm going to pause you guys and put you back up on the stand up higher. Alright, get you guys up nice and high. We're going to do some comparisons on these two carburetors. This one right here is the Chinese knockoff. Then this one here is the factory carb. And I noticed right off the bat that the inlet orifice tube is taller than that one. The idle mixture, the speed is on this side, and this is the reason why this carburetor probably will not work, is because this one's on this side, and I don't think it will work properly on that carburetor because I'll show you real quick. Okay, that's over here. If you look on that slide, see how the slide's got this groove? That groove is strictly for the whatchamacallit there. It's strictly for that adjustment. So if you can't adjust the idle speed, it's not going to work. But however, we might be able to rob some parts out of this carburetor and see if they'll fit this carburetor. It's a 50-50 shot, and considering I've never had either one of them apart before, it's worth the gamble. And of course, all the screws are stripped out of it. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to have to go and get a pair of pliers. See if I can break those through with pliers. See if that'll help. Okay, got that one loose. Yeah, way too tight. These screws don't need to be that tight. I mean, they need to be tight, don't get me wrong. But if you strip them, screwing them in, you're going way too tight. So that's okay. Our brand new Chinese knockoff donor carburetor has the parts we need. So we have the screws that we can use, which we're going to use from the bowl. I prefer to use the factory carburetor anyway, just because. But there are a few nicer features on this Chinese one, like see how the bowl ejects from the side? This one right here is more in the front. So we got a few things that are different on them. They're not exactly a direct knockoff, but oftentimes when you have them like this, you'll find that they're pretty close and you're able to use a lot of the parts. I know the choke area works good, and we can tap that down with a hammer. We'll flange it out, make sure it's all good in the hood before we reassemble it, because that should not be out like that. Okay. Well, guys, there is why it's not running correctly. Oh, nope, that is not true. Those are supposed to be like that. Those floats slide up and down. And then they get to a certain point and they push on this setup right here. Alright, so that is correct. That is how, oops, sorry. So the floats slide. I gotta shrink you guys back down so you guys can actually see what I'm doing here. There we go. Alright. So we have two totally different setups. We have the new school setup, and we have the old school setup. We have these two right here, these two tabs. Hit the floats in the bowl and slide up and down. Okay, so we have that right there going for us, right there. All right. Let's take a look at this real quick. Alright, so that right there fits into that port right there. So the jet, the main jet, is actually in here, which makes this carburetor actually a better carburetor. Well, we know that the main jet is fine. The idle jet that I'm concerned about, my screwdriver is not thin enough to get in there. So we're going to see if we can switch out these main jets. Yep, same thing with that one. If we could switch out the main jets, the idle jets, I think we might be alright. The idle mixture, the idle circuit. So let me see if I can get a screwdriver that'll fit in there. We'll switch out just the those main jets, fix that flange, get this thing back together, and it seems to be... I'm not going to touch the fuel bowl. Look at these floats. These guys are cool. Up. Tells you right on up. And there's a little tab. And they fit on these pins. Just like that. See how they're inside there? So the float bowl comes up. These little pins rise with the float. And they move this tab right here, which happens to be spring loaded, which actually is in good shape. Everything is really good shape. It's got a new needle and seat in it. I don't know if you can see how bent the flange is. I don't know if you can see that or not. See how the ears are slightly bent? This is the ear right here, and this one here, they're bent up. We're going to have to bend those back down. Alright, let me go see if I can find a screwdriver and see if we can get those extracted. Alright. So I just grabbed the screwdriver, tried to get it out inside there, and I was unsuccessful on removing the jet, but I was able to clean it while it's in there. So, I do have light coming through the jet, through both jets, so I'm happy with that. I just want to hear this thing run properly. So, I blew out all the jets inside the bowl. There are two of them. This one right here is for your choke. This bottom one right here with the seals is for your, what do you call it, the main jet. And then your idle jet is the next one in the tube. Gasket looks alright, so we're going to put this back together and see if we can't get this thing to idle. Okay. We're using the Chinese screws. This carburetor actually is a lot better than the other one for jetting because the jet is underneath this plug. I thought it was a drain like the other one. The Chinese one's a drain. If the Chinese one had the slide in it, I would use it, but it doesn't have the slide. So, I'm not going to sweat it. We'll use it for parts, and then we'll go from there. But at least we got some good screws out of it, right? You can change over the float design. I'm not going to, but you can. I think this one's vintage. Let's use this one to work, you know. Just snugging them, that's all I'm doing. I'm not going crazy super tight with them. They're not going to come out on you. That's why there's a lock washer built onto them. Alright, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to try to flare that out without breaking them off. My luck, I'll break them off, right? I'll be right back. Okay, so I took a hammer, straightened out the flange. I just banged on it and checked the mating surface. So now it's nice and flat right here. Going across this way is nice and flat. And then I switched out the needle jets, or the idle jets. I'm going to do that right now. See if this one will fit it. Probably won't, because one's, nope, not going to fit. Okay, well that's alright. We'll just use that one back the way we had it. Which I didn't really like the way it fit in, but that's okay. One half, 1.5. Okay, so I backed it out to 1.5 turns out. That's what we're going to start with, and we'll see how it goes from there. Let's get you guys back over there to the bike. It's starting to rain out. We might get wet. All right, so I'm going to put the slide in on the other side. Okay, check this all out, make sure it's good. Okay, put the slide on. Carburetor on. Okay, I hit it a little too hard right there. There we go. Oh, I got the bolt underneath the carb. Gotta get that back out. Okay. This side over here, you have to start with the carburetor partially up because of the choke. So it should fit all the way back. I'm just starting these on there, by the way. I'm not actually tightening them fully up yet. Just in case I have to do that. I'll lock the carburetor back. I'm going to have to order up a carburetor for it if this doesn't work. Carburetor didn't look too bad inside. It's pretty neat seeing old school Makunis like that though, with the 2 floats. Yeah, these intakes don't have to be ridiculously tight. Over tightening them can ruin the intake, by the way. Yeah, like the way that's sealed. This fuel line needs to be replaced, but I don't have one to put on it right now, so we're going to try it with that. There's the choke right there. Fuel line going in. And then we got to tighten up that kickstart too on the other side. The kickstart is very loose. And before we strip out a shaft that we're going to have to break a case to redo, I think we should just take a few moments and tighten it up. Let's see here. Might have to go and run and get that wrench because I don't have one out here for that. Let's see. Alright, right back. Alright. Guys, just so you guys know, this is something that should be done periodically throughout your bike's life with you guys, is tightening this up and making sure it's tight, because they do come loose. Believe it or not, they do. And when they do, they can strip out that shaft. And there is nothing worse than having a stripped out shaft. Let me tell you. Especially if you're on a trail. I'm alright with that. Nice. Okay. Alright. Let's see if we can get this thing started, huh? Shall we? I don't like the way that detent is on that either. You know what? We have another choke. Let's change it out. Might as well see if the choke is the same at least. What's happened to that choke right there? Actually, we'll try it with the choke that's on it. See if we can't get that thing to, if it won't idle. And then we'll go from there. If it idles, great. If it don't, well, then we know. Alright, so, key on. We gotta put the fuels on. Yep, fuel is on. Okay. Started right up. Choke dropped itself. You guys okay with that? That's interesting. I would say that carburetor has seen better days. choke is working, but kind of crappy. And believe it or not, that choke could actually be the problem. So, I'm going to take it out just because I don't like the way it snaps back into itself, you know what I mean? So let's take that choke out and just try switching it with the Chinese one. Sometimes that's just it. It's sucking too much fuel in through that way, and it seems to respond good. But we have a whole choke assembly here. Let's try this one. Just because I don't really trust it. It could still be debris in the jet, you know what I mean? Yeah, look at this brand new shiny one right here. Even though it's Chinese, I'm okay with that. We own it, we have it, let's try it. Might have to take the main jet out and clean that. Could have some debris. Could be the air filter assembly. We got to put an air filter on it. Right now, it could be, well, it would be racing a lot higher if it was a lean condition, so I'm not really worried about that part of it, but yeah, this one's got all kinds of shims and doodads, and look at, see right here, it's one right on the tip, and then you look at the other one, nice flat tip. So I think we should go with this foreign one here. I'll try that one, see if it even screws in. Oh no, I'm right in your way. Yeah, this right here might do it, guys. Hopefully, if I can get it to go in. That part there, the detent. I gotta go on the other side for the detent spring. There's a lot of different things that can happen. If you're sucking air through the choke assembly, it can throw your jets way off. So, it's best to see if you can, Hi buddy, I'm making a video right now. Can you let me do this, okay? Okay. Yep. Okay, so, yeah, you want to make sure that the detent is where it needs to be when you tighten this choke up. Once again, you don't have to gorilla tighten it. Just put it on there a little bit, nice little snug, you're good to go. Now we're going to see how it feels, and we'll go from there. Okay, that feels good. And if I want it up more, I can put the detent up more, which is what I'm going to do. You push down on the choke, put a little screwdriver into it, and pry it up just a little bit. There we go. Nice. Okay. Now with that down, we're going to see how it feels when we start it. How it starts. Idling. I love that brake light. Alright, now shut that off there. I'm going to do one more thing to this bike, if I can. What I'm doing now, sorry about that, didn't mean to headbutt you guys. There we go. What I'm doing now is I'm going to undo this shifter and put it up where it belongs. Way too low. Way too low. Now, I haven't put the carburetor in the ultrasonic cleaner or anything like that. I just kind of, you know, Mickey Mouse it to hear this thing run properly, or as properly as I could get it. There we go. Look, my shifter's a little higher, but it's preference, you know. When I'm on the bike, I like to be able to be comfortable. Yeah, that's all right. Okay. Pair of pliers. Okay. Tighten this 10mm up. Shifter is worn. Not like really bad, but it's worn. It's an old, it's a 1971. Okay, good. Alright, now for the fun part. The part that we all love to see. I'm not expecting miracles. I'm not expecting this thing to be crazy. I just want to. I know the carburetor is messed up, so with that in mind, I'm going to ride it like that. Okay. There we go. Stop this thing up and see if I can get it to go.